Hey everyone, so for my second article review, I chose an article from Forbes magazine written by John Hall. The title is 12 Simple Things a Leader Can Do to Build a Phenomenal Team. This article, I kind of thought it kind of went hand in hand with Chapter 4, Building a Strong Relationship with a Business, as well as Chapter 6, which was Building Better IT Leaders from the Bottom Up. Throughout this article, Hall does a great job of giving us the 12 points that he kind of uses in his everyday life to build teams and what you kind of need to do in order to see those teams succeed. I'll go through the list real quick here for you. Number 1, don't settle for mediocre. Number 2, be a thought leader. 3, trust is crucial. Number 4, forget the money. Number 5, personal lives are important. Number 6, maintain systematic processes. Number 7, diversity brings innovation. Number 8, it's okay to be friends. Number 9, play to people's strengths. Number 10, great teams read together. Number 11, invest in your first 5 hires. And number 12, give recognition. Throughout the list and kind of Hall's explanation of it, he gives examples as to why each of these is important as you're building teams and kind of getting started, even if you're a startup company, and kind of how to get off the ground as a team. And I felt like throughout the reading, this really a big chunk of what we read about is how to connect the IT department with the business, which I consider that kind of being on a team. You got to be on the same page. You've got to be successful. You got to have solid communication, like we talked about last week. There was three of these points in particular that I found to be very interesting and able to connect with the reading. The first being trust is crucial, as we've seen throughout a couple of the cases. Actually, both cases we've talked about. The business does not trust the IT department, and therefore they're not willing to go the extra mile to give them what they need and give them the credibility that they need to succeed. And Hall builds on top of that, talking about how if you can't trust your employees and the people that you're working with, how can you be successful? You've got to be able to have trust. Trust is the main thing that drives business, in my opinion. I know at least on the baseball field in my life, if I can't trust somebody to get their work done, then I'm just going to hover over them the entire time, or I'm going to kind of resent them a little bit, and that's never a key to success. Number 2, maintain systematic processes, kind of like what we talked about in this case this week. You've got to have a process in place. You've got to maintain it regardless of the circumstances. I feel like a good example for an IT department would be you can't just scrap. If you believe in what you're doing, you can't just scrap it after a couple failed attempts. You've got to keep working on that process, keep working on the system. You got to keep trying to better it every single day, every single thing you do. And the last one I put was play to people's strengths, as we talked about in the case this week as well. There were a lot of people, they didn't have the budget or the resources that they needed to succeed. So in that, you get workers who are having to do jobs that they're not experienced with, they're not comfortable with doing. And I kind of feel like if you can bring in and give people the opportunity to do what they're strongest at and kind of build on what their personal preferences, I guess, kind of would be a good word for it. If you can put them in a situation where they can build on their strengths and continue to build on top of that every single day, then you're obviously putting yourself in a great position to succeed. Thank you, guys.